Hi, this is Ralph Rosa Pearl Eustache, and I'm back with part 2 of how to prevent a stroke or sudden pins and needles. Now, the first video talked about how to stabilize yourself when you see that you're having stroke symptoms. This video is more about being healthy so that you do not have strokes or you move past that period or that phase of illness where your life is in danger at any moment and you could have a stroke. So today we're going to talk about diet. There are things that you want to include in your diet that will take care of your health and keep you healthy and prevent strokes. Now, strokes have a lot to do with your cholesterol level and also your blood sugar. So you definitely want to make sure that if you're diabetic, your sugar is stabilized. If you've never been diagnosed with diabetes, maybe you made a mistake in your diet and you overate or can overconsume sugar, and so therefore that left an imbalance in your system of your insulin, then there are things that you can do as well. So for starters, you do want to hydrate and create a balance of sweet and salty in your system. So you want to create a balance of sodium and sugar and glucose. So in the first video, I did mention that you do not want to consume sodium. However, in order to stabilize yourself and regain health, you do want to have a balance of salt, of sodium, and sugar in your diet. So what this means is that you're definitely moving away from having meals with 350, 250, 750 milligrams of salt. Your body at this point can't handle it. Your veins are not healthy. They're not nimble enough to allow blood flow as they should. And so obstruction takes place in the sense that the blood flow is not moving with ease. And there are some places in your body where the flow is very minimal. And so therefore you're having pins and needles, your feet, your legs, your limbs feel like they're asleep. Okay, so it's too soon to consume sodium. So you definitely want to put away all those tempting foods like bacons, pre-cooked foods, fast food, anything that you can put your hands on, bring home that has sodium. Okay, however, you do need your sugar and you do need your salt. And I'm going to tell you how you use them. Moving to the next set of foods, you want to have cinnamon because it does balance out your insulin. Okay, and you want to have garlic because it reduces blood pressure. Okay, and so your water is very essential. You also want to have your vitamin C. And so then you move on to your foods, your natural foods, such as vegetables. And then there are your proteins, which are beans. They do also contain glucose and sugar. So you do have to balance out the consumption when you have them. You have your meats that you can definitely have along with your food. You can have your eggs. Onions, you want to include that in your diet as well because they actually promote good blood flow. You also want to have lemon zest because it has a healing factor for your veins. So, okay, so these are the foods that you're going to start consuming. Um, when you feel that your blood pressure is stable, then you will want to have a hydrating drink. And this is made with a small, for those who are prone to having stroke, you have to use an exaggerated minimal quantity. So what I mean by exaggerated, you're literally going to be counting grains. So for your beverage, which is water, that's hydrating, you're literally going to take 4 grains of salt, and you're literally going to take 4 grains of sugar, and not more, because based on research that I've done, a teaspoon of salt actually has 2,500 milligrams of salt. And there is no way that a person with high blood pressure or someone who has a tendency to stroke with that imbalance of glucose in their system can have that amount of sodium and survive without having a stroke. And that can be very deadly. So you basically are going to go from having your meals of 700 to 1,000 milligrams of salt to having counting grains. So you're going to have 4 grains of salt, 4 grains of sugar, add that into your water, mix it, and drink it. So at that point, it should stabilize you. Once you're done taking it and you feel that you're not having pins and needles, not having any symptoms after drinking this fluid, then you are going to take a vitamin C to actually cure and set the healing that has taken place by means of this beverage. Okay, so that's one thing. And you can also do that for soups. If you don't want to do a water, you can do a soup and put that quantity of salt and sugar, 4 grains of salt, 4 grains of sugar, into the soup. Okay, and the benefits are the same. It stabilizes you. The pins and needles go away. The numbness goes away, and you can actually set that healing point by taking a vitamin C. Okay, also, if you feel that your blood pressure is high, you can take garlic, chew it, bite off a piece of fresh garlic, chew it, and swallow it. Okay, and so that will bring down your blood pressure. So we talked about cinnamon. This is a great way to sodium free, a great way to control your sugar, so you don't have to worry about having an overconsumption of sodium when you take that. Also, you can have that on your desserts, but this is not the time to have any sweets, desserts. You do want to put those away. Things such as starches, such as grains and proteins and beans, also have sugar, so you just want to have those, which is still a little dangerous for you if you're not balancing them out with a small amount of rice. Small amount of salt. Okay, so now your diet from day to day is going to consist of vegetables. Is going to consist of beets, which are good for high blood pressure and improving the vascular system. Okay, it's going to consist of beans, mainly vegetables, any vegetable. You do want to eat 3 times a day. You can hard boil an egg. If you're going to have rice, try having brown rice, and whatever you're having with the rice, such as maybe a salad, make a cold salad with the brown rice. You want to put in 1 grain of salt in your actual food. For the beverages, it's 4. grains of salt. So put 1 grain of salt in the cooking phase. Okay, and this is exaggerated, but it's what you need to do to stabilize yourself, and you will definitely see an improvement. You go back to being your healthy self, and you will the old symptoms will be history. But it does take the effort to consume these particular foods. Okay, so that's what you want to do. Now, you've come a long way, so just follow these guidelines. Eat healthy, have three meals a day. Reduce your starches to almost zero, like unless they're very small amounts, but you're not ready for that yet. I would say the next week, if you feel no symptoms at all, you can start having a small fistful and have that 1 grain of salt to balance out the glucose and sodium. And as soon as you feel a symptom again, remove the starch from your diet. Okay, and also after following up with the emergency room, definitely go to your primary care to get tested to see if you're diabetic, see what's low in your system so you can replenish. And so this is part 2 of how to prevent a stroke. Thank you very much for joining me, and have a great evening.